Hi, good morning, guys. So, good morning to all the friends which are here as of now. So, we'll start this session, I think, in next 2 to 5 minutes. Till that time, I'm just giving you a little bit introduction about us, about our company and all to take this momentum ahead. So, I'll start with, I'm Manish Hinger, by profession a chartered accountant and doing my practice and advisory business in Mumbai with the name Financial Hospital. So Financial Hospital is a advisory based firm, advisory in wealth and taxation matters. So whatever wealth and taxations you have, we are giving advice on that part. At present, we are managing somewhere around 10,000 plus odd clients with a decent size of AUM and all. Sun Pharma, of course, that is my second event after the first event, which went very well in Goa, Delhi, where I met a lot of doctors at that time and had privilege to get a lot of things from them even. So again today the topic is more or less the same about the wealth, how we should plan our wealth in that manner. If we are into practice or if we are into some kind of business, what are the things which we need to take care in this business and everything. So I think that's the core session's objective for today. The flow will be something like that where I'll take some 25-30 minutes to just walk through my presentations to all of you. Thereafter, if you have any questions and all these things, you can just write me the questions. So I'll try to answer as many questions as I can on this platform. But if you have some questions where you don't want to go into public and ask these questions, even you can mail me these questions. So at the end, I'll give you my mail IDs even where you can ask any personal questions if you have. So in next 2 or 3 days, I and along with my team, I'm trying to give all these answers. Financial Hospital, our company is based in Mumbai and we have some 8 locations across the India, or if I'm talking about across the globe, Dubai and Nigeria is the two market where we started our business and all. So we go like that, we go like that only. That's all. So I think it's 11 o'clock, so we should start our session on time. I think that's the best practice. So the first thing about the COVID-19, I think the entire world is changed. First of all, thanks to all the doctors, all the medical practitioners or people from pharma and healthcare who came forward and supported a lot in entire world. So I think the first thanks goes to you guys. You are like a god. Earlier days, what people used to say, ki doctors are god for us, and today we feel this. Along with that, we should not forget the support and the hard work which we saw in police force, in army, in administration, and all these staffs who are on the ground in this tough time. And just to safeguard the humanity, just to safeguard ourselves, just to safeguard our lives. I think we should respect all these things. So that's my genuine and very kind request to all of you. Until unless very much not necessary, don't go out. Just stop it for some more time. I understand the period is somewhere around more than a month for all of us, and it's very difficult to be at home. But yes, I think time demands this thing only, and that's the best way where we can be safe at our home. So that's my first request to all of you. And yes, thanks to all these guys who are on road from last 50 or 60 days and doing this. I cannot say it's an abnormal event. I'll usually say this is a rarest of rare event. Rarest of rare event, which even in the world, nobody predicted the same thing. We would be on lock for some a month or 2 months time. We are not allowed to go out and doing whatever steps we are doing. So I think that's a very good time to rewrite something. I'm sure like me, all of you has always something in your mind and you even think and feel something okay, there is something in life which we need to change. So I'll just narrate and start with this note first. First thing, learning lessons. So all of us has something learning from this COVID-19 event. There are some lessons which are into the personal nature. There are something which can be a professional or on a wealth side. We need to rewrite something. So that's a very good quote about learn, relearn, and unlearn. I think that's time proved this thing very true. There are something which we need to relearn. There are something which we need to rewrite in our life, be it on a financial front or be it on any term. So I think these are the things which we need to take care on that part. Nothing is permanent in this world, guys. So we again taught nature gave us a very nice lesson that nothing is permanent on that part. Nature do have power to teach some lessons to us. There is not something like that if we reach somewhere on Mangal or something like that. Not, guys. There are nature who has a universal power to take care of everything whenever things goes here and there or disturb in life. Technology, yes, technology is the big thing. Now we realize this thing, how technology can help in all of us to take care. Thereafter, yes, health is wealth. That's the best quote I can say in today's time. Okay, the best wealth if you have is only health. Might be possible before January or December, we all were struggling for some finance, some money, some growth for our business, for our practice, for our be it a medical practitioners, be it some labs guys, be it some doctors and everything who is doing their practice in some hospitals or their own have personal some of the setups in that. But yes, I think health is the best wealth which we have. We all are scared from inside. Today I just read one newspaper and there is a mention that 24% of Indians at present are worried of their health, not for their wealth, of their health. So they are very much worried about their health, how we cope up into that. Again, India, we come to the basic part about how immunity is important. So McKinsey gives a very good report in terms of all these crisis management. We are number one in the world. India is number one in the world in terms of crisis management. We have lots of jugaad with us. Jugaad in terms of we can use the turmeric or haldi powder in our food. That's good for immunity. Chawanprash is, of course, the pure Ayurvedic medicine for all these things. So I think yes, nature has its power to teach us lesson, and India took it very well. Again, back to basic. All these which are basic, which we learned earlier from our parents and everything, came to the true part. Okay, how immunity is important, how health is important rather than wealth, which we can take it. Or on a positive note, yes, everything you will find lots of negative news about the negative part. Okay, things are not well. These cases are coming up. These much people died in entire world, Italy, Spain, US, China, and everybody. Everywhere you will find lots of cases and all these things where people are so much worried. But I can say there is something positive also into that. Bad is not so much awful as it presumed, and the same wise happiness also. इतना बुरा बैड भी नहीं होता जितना बुरा कभी हमको लगता है. So whatever we are today, we are the perception. We are on the perception. Things will go more worse things, and my job will go, my salary will cut and everything. But guys, don't be worried about that. Let's take so advice to you. Just be patient, be silent at this moment. Let this dust settle down first. Let's see the clear picture. Then we can start something new. Then we can predict something new and start it. But the first thing, and this, I can say that is the very rarest of rare event. Basic reason for that is only the one part, guys, because at present we are not clear how much time we need to be at home, how much time we need to sit and just see everything, whatever is happening here and there and all around us or in the world. But yes, guys, I think that's the best thing. Let things get settled down, then you can able to see the clear picture. And then take some decisions. Don't take any decision, be it on a financial front, be it on a personal front, as on today, because still COVID-19 is there. We are in between of some storm in which we are not able to see the clear picture. So I think we should wait for some time to get the clear picture. Once the clear picture is there, I think that's the best time to do some planning and all these parts. So I'll make my presentation into two parts. First part about the business scenario. So if any of the doctors who are into the medical profession or have their own businesses about this, I'll just highlight some part of that. What in the business we should think and we should carefully note it as of now. And thereafter we will come to the market outlook front. What is the market outlook in terms of equity market, in terms of debt market, how real estate is going to shape in near future, how gold is going to shape in near future, and all these things. So let's start first with business scenario and path forward. So if any of you is in a business, what are the precautions you should have with you to take this forward? So the first thing, make two plans. First plan, make it for your cash flow for 3 months or 6 months, and the second plan should be for next 2 to 3 years. I think that's the best way to predict, to budget something. So make first budget for next 3 months or 6 months, and then make a budget also for next 2 to 5 years. There is a difference between long-term budget and short-term budget. If I am talking about short-term budget, I am talking about the cash flow front, because cash flow is going to be very crucial in coming 3 or 6 months time. Your cash flow should be so much intact, and if you don't have cash flow, then your credit line should be so much impact and so much good. Okay, you can sustain any of the jobs. So first, cash flow, urgent need attention required on that part. And make an emergency fund for your business also. Whatever salaries, whatever committed expenses you have in your offices. So might be possible you bought some big machines for your medical practice, and for that there is a EMI which is going on and everything. There is some fixed expenses like salaries, like rental and all these things. You should have a budget for 3 to 6 months for all these things, guys, because your cash inflow line may disrupt in coming days. Might be possible you will not get your fees, might be possible you will not get your cash inflows from hospitals and from some pharma companies and all these things due to disruption happen, but your cash outflow is fixed, where you need to pay by any chance, by anything, whatever had happened, but you have to pay this. So you should have a proper budget with you for next 3 to 6 month time, specifically in case of cash outflow. Hold it very tight. Renegotiate with vendors in terms of cash outflows. If I'm talking about, so if I'm talking about the renegotiate part, might be possible in the month of Jan, in the month of March or April, May, your rent agreement is going to renew in terms of escalation clause and everything. Ask your landlord to renegotiate the terms and condition in that part. You must have some AMCs contract with computer AMCs, with hardware AMCs, with software AMCs, and with your maintenance guys and everything. I think that's a very good time to renegotiate with them so that you can have a very strong hold on your cash outflow. In Maharashtra, Honorable CM Shri Uddhav Thackeray has just announced about the moratorium period for all these landlords, to give moratorium period for 3 months from here. For next 3 months, you can have this moratorium period to take care of your rental and all these parts. Any of the landlord cannot vacate any of the premises only and only due to non-payment of rental and all these things. But I think, guys, these are the moratorium period. These are not the exemptions from this. There is an exemption. We don't need to pay anything. We don't need to pay rent. So you need to pay the rent in coming future. But yes, you can postpone it for some time. But that's not the permanent solution. So permanent solution is to renegotiate on your rates. Might be possible you will end up with discount of 10 or 15% on your rental agreement. Might be possible you will be on a position to take, instead of 12 months maintenance or any of the AMC, for 15 or 16 months with the same rate. So you are getting some 3 months or 4 months more extended time for that. So I think that's a very good time to renegotiate with all these terms and conditions in terms of cash outflows. Then comes to the EMI part. So lots of things coming here and there from the bank, from this social world and everything. You should extend or postpone your EMI for next 3 months on this time. But guys, my suggestion to you, if you have a good surplus, after considering your mandatory cash outflow, if you have some good surplus, then start paying your EMI in which you are paying more interest. So considering, for example, considering the fact, more or less usually in case of personal loan, in case of car loans, you are paying more interest rather than paying on housing loan and all these things. So just evaluate, just calculate again, what are the EMIs in which you are paying more interest on that part. Try to pay these EMI first rather than paying the EMI with has a lesser interest on that part. And simultaneously, if you have cash flow, I think you should pay your EMI. Don't be worried about in moratorium period you have an extension. Yes, you have an extension, but this extension comes with an interest cost. So ultimately you need to pay interest for these 2 or 3 months in which you are not paying on the capital outstanding which you have. So I think that's a very good time. If you can pay your EMI on time, just pay it. So it's again a thing of relearn or rewrite something. So if I'm talking about relearning or rewriting something, I think that's a move in which some of the EMIs you can pay as of now. The EMI which yields some or which caters some less interest rate can be postponed for 2 or 3 months, depends on your cash outflow and cash scenarios. So do take care of your EMI well. That's again a very good point to mention here. The fourth point, of course, if I'm talking about a budget for 3 to 5 months from here down the line, I think one thing which we all misunderstood before this COVID event and everything, that's the technology. How technology is big, how technology can impact our business in a big way. Technology, guys, is coming in a big way. So I'm sure you all are agree with my points here. Like we have a personal family doctor, we have a family chartered accountant, family lawyer. In the same way, we should have a family tech guy who knows about our business, who can create something for our business, so that we should have a less dependency on our people, on our system, so that in that type of uncertain scenarios we can able to cope up with the cash inflows. Technology is going to play a big part, guys. So I think that's a shift change, that's a chapter change in entire world. You will see whatever you saw in this world pre-COVID and post-COVID, you will see a big change in all these companies. There will be more towards expenses on, or increase some expenses on technology to make their things so technology friendly, so so upfront on all these things so that they can able to take the benefit of these. Technology is going to be a big thing, guys. It is going to play a big role in next 3 to 5 years. So if you are going to, if you make some plan for from here to 3 or 5 years, then as sorry, I just got a message. I need to be a little bit louder on that part, so I come a little bit here. Okay. So in case of all these fronts, in terms of technology, what we are discussing as of now. So in technology front, guys, again, my request to all of you, if you are making any of the budget for next 3 years or 5 years, make some component of your cash inflows into technology. It can be 10%, it can be 20%, or it can go up to 25 or 30%. Depends on your business, depends on your business margins and all. What are the business margins we have? What are the business model we have? How my business in terms of support from technology I can get it. You will see lots of good technology friend. Even in a big companies, you will say lots of robotic process automations. RPA came into the picture, who can reduce the dependency on people. Thereafter, if I can say, artificial intelligence are coming in a big way. Faceless transactions are coming in a big way. So we all are talking about ATMs and debit card, but I think in this during this COVID period, what we used mainly is some of the payment gateways or some of the wallet and all these things. So guys, that's the time to change ourselves. That's the time to change our business. That's the time to change our business patterns. Traditional business is not going to survive from here till next 3 to 5 years. Might be possible your cycle will be a little bit longer, and you are more luckier on that part. But my opinion to all of you, or my advice to all of you guys, do spare some amount, do invest some amount into the technology. Might be possible you are not able to make something in-house, but yes, there are lots of tools available in the market which can be useful for your medical operations, for your labs, for your medical practicing and everything. So I think technology, you have to invest into technology. There is no choice as such, I can say. No choice. If you don't invest today in technology, I think tomorrow is not then so good for you. So I think technology is the part where you should take care a good part. Or if you want any type of consulting also, there are lots of people who are giving consulting in technology. How you can use technology in a big way or in a good manner, how efficiently you can make your process, your transactions, your payment system, your payment mechanism, and your entire working cycle with the help of technology. That's a very good part, guys. You have to take it with you, with your business budgeting and everything into. So these are the 4 broad points in case of any businesses, in case of any practices, where you need to think on, and where you need to rewrite something, relearn something, change everything whatever you have as of now. Change in terms of change in your cash flow management, change in terms of your payment mechanism, change in terms of your budgeting part. Earlier, might be possible before COVID, nobody had anticipated that we should have expenses or incur some expenses on the technology front. But today, I think time demands on that part. EMI front on the same way. We all are thinking about, yeah, everything is going well. I can take some EMIs. I can take more expenses, more capex on my front. I have some cash inflows with me. But I think this COVID teaches us a very good lesson on that part. Nothing is permanent. We always should have something as an emergency fund, something as a backup plan with us for all these uneven or rarest of rare scenarios to take care. So these all are for the business front, guys. And thereafter, now the topic relating to market outlook, how we will see the market from here till the next changes on for future. So I will categorize this market into 2 fronts. One is the short term and second is the long term. If I am talking about a short term front, so it's not about 3 months or 6 months. So if you want to ask something about 3 or 6 months, then I'll say it as a purely very, very short term, or it's for an emergency, not for a short term period. Any investment for a short term period, now I'll consider as a for 2 years. So any investment for 2 years, I'll consider as a short term. Any investment more than 2 years, I'll say it is a long term investment for us. So do take care and relearn this thing also. Nothing is for 3 or 6 months where you can double your money or something. Let's come into the market outlook part with one-on-one sectors. Before that, I'll have some 6 points where your money and finance part are important, where I want you to give a little bit thought. The first, again, the emergency fund. So if any of you not heard or not had any that type of emergency fund with you, I think that's the best time. The first thing you should do in this period to create an emergency fund. So let's discuss something on emergency fund. What is emergency fund all about? Emergency fund, a fund which you need in case of any emergency. It can be disability, it can be COVID-like event in the future, it can be job loss. In this front, you should have an emergency fund. Emergency fund, if I will describe all your grocery expenses, all your basic necessities item which you need. So I think today is the best lesson. This time is the best lesson where we can understand what is emergency fund, what is mandatory expenses, what is needful expenses for me as of now. It can be the child education fees, it can be the EMIs component. So your grocery bills, your daily needs item, your child education fees, your medical expenses, all these comes as an emergency fund. So if you and your spouse both are working, then I think it is ideal to keep an emergency fund of next 3 months, for 3 months specifically. Or if you are singly in terms of earning, your spouse is not working, then I think the ideal period to make an emergency fund is for 6 months, not for 3 months. 3 months is ideal for if one or more than one people are working, and if two people are, or if only one people are working, then I think 6 months of emergency fund is required for you. So create a good emergency fund. Emergency fund money should be parked only and only into fixed deposits, only and only saving banks, and the most of the scenarios into liquid fund, but not into any type of debt product, not into any type of equity. Don't be greedy with all these things. I think the best way to park this money is your banks, is your fixed deposits. That's all. Back, be on basics. I think that's the most wise decision you should do in this crucial time. Create an emergency fund. That is the need of the time. That this COVID-19 COVID-19 teaches us a very good lesson. We should all have an emergency fund. We should not be on the debt front. Okay, my salary will come on the time, everything, I'll be happy and doing all these things. So it's not the platform to give you some negativity, but yes, precaution is always good. So always keep your budgeting by thinking about the worst in your mind, and always see the future with a very brightest note on that part, I can say. Then the second part, cash outflow, as I mentioned earlier also. Again, that's a part little bit on a relearning, rewriting something. Might be possible before COVID, you must have a need of buying a good car, you must have a need of buying some good property or a real estate. At present, I stay at 2 BHK or a 2-bedroom hall kitchen. I should shift now to hall kitchen. I have amount of cash outflow, I can manage some EMI. That's the time to rewrite all these lessons. That's the time to rewrite your financial planning again. If I am talking about rewrite, might be possible some of the things which are as a wish but converted into need. Again, is the time to rethink on that part. My buying a car can be a need before COVID, but after COVID, it should not be a need for me. So car can be postponed, but funding for my child education is not an wish. It is not a wish something. It is a need which I need to take care first. So understand your goals again. Rewrite, recalculate your goals. Rewrite and recalculate their pricing. Then decide what goal comes should first, what goal comes last as in your priority. Your priority has to change after post-COVID and during this COVID event. If your priorities is not changing, guys, I think you need to practice a lot. You need to rewrite your some things again, because that is the time which teaches us a very good lessons on that. So cash outflow, hold it very tight. Don't do any expenses in coming next to 3 or 6 months, whether COVID will go and everything. Again, guys, then you should have wait for 6 months to do any that type of wishful expenses. It can be foreign travel or something like that. I'm frustrated with all these COVID and everything. Once this COVID end, I'll first go to Dubai and something. I read this in a newspaper in the morning, but I think that's the stupidity thing which you can do after this COVID. Don't do anything like that, guys. You never know after COVID what scenarios is going to happen, how your company, if you are an employee, how the market is going to change, because it will take to come into the market. At present, whatever we see is a COVID event. It's an event which is a medical emergency, but after that, I think a big slowdown is on the way or at a door front. After that, we will see a little bit salary cut, little bit job loss and everything into the market. In today's news, there was a figure of 31% people are worried about their job, about whether their job will be continue or not. So you should wait for 6 months from here to just settle down all these things. Let this dust settle down first, then you can able to see the clear picture of what is going to happen next. But till that time, please stop. Don't do any that type of expenses which is not mandatory. for your cash flow, and it can hamper, it can damage your cash flow in a bigger way, guys. I'm telling you very seriously, hold your cash very tightly. That is not the time. Even post COVID, you have to wait for 3 or 6 months to just settle down everything. Your company is settled down, you are settled down. Okay, now I don't have any problem. I can take this thing. Now I can take this type of expenses, then do any expenses. Otherwise, avoid taking any of the commitment which is of a longer term. Don't take any long-term commitment as of now. That is not the time to take any of these commitments. Coming to again the SIP part, systematic investment plan, you must have some SIPs which are running on as of now. But that's not a good time to stop your SIP. If you don't have that much of cash flows where you can sustain with your SIPs and all, that's the best way what you can do. You can pause your SIP for next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, depends on your cash flows, depends on your circumstances. All the mutual fund companies, all the AMCs are giving you that solution to pause your SIP rather than stopping your SIP. In pause your SIP for until your next notice, until your next action, all the SIP will be paused. There will be no direct debit from your bank account, and once you again start it, then it will start hitting your bank account. So that's the best way. Or if you have so much, or if you have that much amount of cash flow where you can manage your SIP part, I think that's the very best time where we can continue with our SIPs and all these things, because these SIPs, you are buying some units which is on a, I will not say it's a very good bottom and everything. That's all are stupid things according to me. But yes, you are buying some units with a very lesser price into the market compared to the earlier market which we see. But yes, there is no bottom, nothing like that. You have to be disciplined with your investments. It can be your SIP investment. Market may go up, market may go down. Nobody knows in the world where market will go and where market will head from this part. But I think SIP is the best thing which you can continue or you can start in today's time. So don't take anything in which you can stop with, where you are going to stop your SIP for further notice and all these things. Don't do it. That's a good time. Don't be panic too much on that part. Just pause your SIP if you wish to. If your cash flow is not supporting, but if your cash flow is supporting, then you should continue with your SIP part. There is no harm into doing that. Fourth point, financial planning and portfolio review. That is a very good time to review your portfolios. Whatever portfolio, be it into direct equity stock market, be it into mutual funds, be it into PMSs, be it into real estate, fixed deposits, jahan bhi, wherever you have money, I think that's a very good time to review your portfolio. Just review your portfolio, check which mutual fund, which stocks give you very big, high negative returns and all these things. Just understand things. Consult your financial planner or your mutual fund or any of the advisor. And from that, get advice whether I should continue with the same fund, whether I should continue my SIP with the same fund, or I need to change my SIP in some another fund. So that's a very good thing which you can do. Keep harassing your financial planner, keep harassing your wealth advisor in today's time, so that you will have a bestest in your portfolio. Because again, that's a very good time where you can reshuffle, review your portfolios, change something, whatever stocks which are very badly got losses and everything. You should change this with some good funds in which the recovery is more faster rather than compared to some other funds where the time is taking more to recover from that part. So it's the time to review your portfolio. Again, reprioritize your goals, relearn these things, guys. It is very important in today's time. You have to rewrite everything in terms of your financials. You are at home, what best you can do, even write your will first. You are at home, you can create a simple Excel sheet in which whatever receivables you have, in which you need to take the money, who are the people who you paid the money and you want to, or there is a receivable, there is a payable, simply in that sense. You have to write everything on your Excel sheet. What are the assets you have, what are the liabilities in terms of loans. It can be unsecured, it can be secured loan, it can be mortgage loan. You have, make a simple Excel sheet, make a simple will on your Word format, and just take a printout, share it with your spouse, with your families about your asset class and everything. Rearrange all your papers. Might be possible you must have taken some LIC policies 10 or 15 years back. You don't have paper and all these things. I think you are at home. That's the best thing which you can do in today's time, is to just rearrange all your financial documents, all your financial papers, assemble them into a one good bag or something, or in one good file, and discuss it and share it with your spouse and your families. Because sometimes you must have taken some insurance policies and even your wife don't know about. Then how you, and that's the best time where you can share everything about your finances with your families, with your wife, and create a good will, guys. Fifth point, please, that's my strong suggestions to all of you, and take it on a very personal or as a request from my side. Don't do any trade which is in a short term. Be whatever person is coming and telling you, be it a Junjunwala or be it something a big guys in the Warren Buffett or something, ki this money is going to be double in coming 2 days, 3 days, or in 2 years. Invest into that stock, invest into that scheme in which you will get in 5 months, you will double your money. Invest into a company which is creating sanitizers, which are creating PPE. Just invest into that. I'll give you double return in a year or all this. Don't go. Don't do any F&O transaction. Don't do any short-term trade in today's time. Guys, if you have big money, then it's your choice. Whatever money you have, it's all money is what? I think it's all money is your hard-earned money. So keep it very safe, keep it very tight with you. Don't be into any that type of trap which is give you some double or something like that, and you will end up with no money. So don't do any future and option transactions in today's time. Market is very volatile, market is very risky, market is very uncertain in today's time. Believe my words, every day COVID cases are coming up, down, so many fluctuations. Nobody in the industry, be it on a very big industrialist, be it any of the person in the world, nobody can predict what is going to happen next after COVID-19. What company is going to perform after COVID-19? Nobody can able to see it, guys, very clearly as of now, because there are lots of dust, there are lots of confusions into the market. You don't know how government is responding on that part, how government will take after this COVID-19 and all these things. So post COVID-19, on an economic front, market is very uncertain. Nobody in the world can predict what is going to be happen next. So that's my genuine request to all of you. Don't get panic, but again the same word, don't do any investment in future and option and any type of short-term trade. Whatever trade you want to do it for a longer term. If you want to take some stocks for next 4 years, 5 years, then it's good. But if you are going to take any stocks just for some news for 3 months or 6 months, I think that's the biggest risk you are taking as of now. 6th point, on a very positive terms, yes, this time too shall pass. So don't be panicked too much about current market scenario. Sorry. In your SIPs, you must have some losses. In your investment in stocks, in your investment in real estate, everything will be somewhere down with some 25%, 45% or something. But don't be panicked too much. And in panic, what most people do, they book their losses, their notional losses is converted into real losses. Don't do it, guys. Don't book your notional losses unless it is very emergency for you to get the money. Otherwise, just be patient, hold this thing for next 1 year or 2 years, or until you will not get clarity into that part. Let's pass corona threat first. Once it passed, then you will get some of the clarity. I think that's the best time to take a decision. So we are in between of a storm. That is not a good time to take any decisions. Wait to settle down everything. Once all things will be settled down, then I think that's the best thing where you can taking some decisions. So don't be panic in this market. This time too shall pass. And India, we are a country with gajab and very jugadu people, so definitely we are on a very good edge. Even lots of big global consulting firms, big global consulting firms are predicting that India will bounce back with a more faster rate, or double or 7.4% or 7.5% of percentage of GDPs and growth rate in post COVID-19 event. So there are some good positive news into the market, but I think that's what you can do is the best time to wait to settle down all these dust, to settle down all these scenarios, then see clearly what is going to happen next post COVID, how companies is reacting, how companies are taking actions accordingly, then do your investments, then take your financial decisions. Before that, don't take any big major or financial decisions on that part. So that's the 6 steps on wealth and monetary fund for all of you from my side. Then coming about the market outlook, how sectors are going to perform in coming days. If I'm talking about equity, so equity market in a short-term term, don't invest. For a longer term, if your goal is for more than 5 years or 6 years, I think that's the best time to invest is now. Or you can keep investing through SIPs, through systematic transfer plan, through systematic investment plan and all these things. Go with a staggered manner. Don't put all your money at once. Yeah, I have 100 rupees, I put entire 100 rupees or I invested entire 100 rupees today because market is 1000 point down. I am seeing this market is very good. I saw the news in the TV and I recollected that yeah, that is the bottom. I should invest all this amount. Don't do anything like that. If you have 100 rupees, go on a staggered manner. make a 5 kitty of 20 rupees each. Whenever you will see a big drop in a market, then it's a good time to invest 20 rupees into that. And the second question which is coming, where we should invest, whether we should invest into small cap, whether we should invest into mid cap, or whether we should invest into large cap. So my advice to all of you, invest only into large cap, invest only into index fund. Who invest into index, it can be Sensex, it can be Nifty, any of these indexes, or invest only into large cap, because rally always comes or start with large cap first, thereafter it will go to mid cap followed by small cap. Small cap and mid cap, in today's scenario, it's in a risk. Why? We don't know about their businesses. Might be possible they are into big cash crunch about that. So one or any of the small cap companies, if they completely wiped out from the system, then it will damage your small cap mutual fund in a big manner. So my advice to all of you guys, don't put any money as of now into mid cap or small cap. Put your money into large cap and index fund. One more advice to all of you, if you all have any SIPs into small cap fund or mid cap fund, I think that is the time to change it into large cap fund or index fund. Contact your financial advisors, your wealth advisor, or your mutual fund agent, and ask them to stop my SIP into small cap and put this money into some large cap mutual fund, a good SIP of, and start a good SIP of into large cap fund, or otherwise into some index fund. But if your goal is for more than 7 years or not, you can continue with your mid cap and small cap SIPs. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. Nothing like that. Take an example. If you have an SIP of 10,000 rupees or 5 SIP, accumulating 50,000 rupees, and now you stop all these SIPs and invest the same 50,000 into large cap. Don't do it. In this 50,000, what you can do, 20,000 should be into large cap, 10 or 15,000 should be into index fund, 10,000 should be into mid cap fund, or only 5,000 should be into small cap fund. I repeat again. So if you have an SIP of 50,000 rupees, just change these SIPs, 20,000 to 25,000 into large cap fund, 10,000 to 15,000 into some index fund, 10,000 rupees of investment into mid cap fund, 5,000 amount of investment into small cap. So on a very good note, 10% of your total SIP amount should be into small cap, not more than that. 10 to 15% amount should be into mid cap, not more than that. 35% amount should be into large cap fund. 15 to 20% amount should be into index fund. That is the best strategy which you can make as of now. But yes, we are making all these strategies with the approach is long term, not for a shorter term, guys. Debt, if I'm talking about debt mutual fund and fixed deposits, I am neutral as of now on that part, because fixed deposits is the best bet. You can do it for 2 years. So if you have any goals within 2 years, if you have any amount which you want to park for 2 years, I think the best way to park it into some fixed deposits. Don't come into any type of debt fund, because debt mutual funds can also give you negative return in this up and down markets. In the same way, liquid fund can also give you negative return in a shorter term, guys. Mind my words, yield are fluctuating a lot, repo rates changing, everything is coming in debt market also. So debt market is also as of now is very risky. I'm sorry. So if you have any goals for 2 years from here, then I think that's the best way to secure and park your money is into some of the good bank with some good fixed deposits, and avoid any cooperative bank as of now. Put it into some nationalized bank or some of the good banks only. Don't put any money here and there, because time is very crucial. Coming back to the gold part, yes, gold is a positive in your portfolio. 10 or 20% depends on your risk appetite, depends on your goals. I think 10 and 20% you can park your money into gold. And again, yesterday RBI issued one new government sovereign bond fund, GSBs, with a 2.5% per annum return on that, payable half yearly, and the fund will be closing on 24th of April. So if any one of you who want to buy gold, don't buy any physical gold, but buy some good gold GSB bonds, which is issued by RBI or Government of India. So that's a good thing for you. 2.5% is the interest. So if you, I'll just explain you about how gold GSB funds are performing into that part. So take an example, you are taking 100 grams of gold equivalent to amount and invest this amount into GSB funds. So what is happen? Government will give you 2.5% appreciation on the quantity every year. So take an example, you bought 100 grams of gold in GSB, gold sovereign bond. After a year, this 100 gram will be 102.5 for you, and whatever interest and whatever price variation, whatever price fluctuations will be yours. So considering today's market, let's say we are taking an gold for an as a vague example, we are buying a gold with a rate of 40,000 as of now. Might be possible rate will be after a year somewhere around 44,000 or 45,000. So whatever appreciation you are taking for this gold price belongs to you. Other than this, what government is giving you additional is 2.5% gram on every 100 grams additionally every year. So that's a very good fund, guys. Yesterday government launched it, and it ends on 24th of April. So if anybody of you who wish to buy some gold sovereign bond, that's the best time. Contact any of the branch of bank branch. They also provide gold bond funds. Or even on the second part, you can buy it online also. Online, if you just type on Google gold sovereign bond from government, they will give you the entire form. You have to fill the form online, pay online, and in your Demat account you will get this gold bond funds. So that's a good bet in gold. Gold is good. Gold is positive for next 3 to 5 years from here if I am talking about. And your portfolio should have 10 to 20% exposure of gold. Then comes to the real estate. Very, very attached to our heart, very, very emotionally for all of us. But guys, one more thing about the real estate. Real estate is looking very negative from here to next 5 years. So if you have any commitment, you start your commitment or something 2 or 3 months back, pre-COVID, if you had invested into any property with the mindset ki, I can take some EMIs, I think that's the time to relook into that part. If you can cancel the deal by taking the entire money refund from the builders, guys, do it. Don't be worried, just do it, because that is not the time to take any commitment for a longer term with a big amount. Real estate, we don't know how financially well sound our builders are. So builders may delay with their projects if they don't get funded properly by the banks and everything. So builders may be in a trouble, or if builders is going to be in trouble, your project will be delayed, your project will be in delay, your money will stuck in some of these projects. So if you are planning to take pre-COVID, if you are planning to buy any property post-COVID, I think you should wait for next 1 or 2 years. Might be possible in coming days you will see some big stress asset selling. You will find some of the stress sell in which you will get your good property with some 20-25% discount. You never know about that. So that's not a very good time to take some commitment or to invest a big chunk of amount into any real estate. Wait for a year or two. I'm sure price will go down nowadays. Till that time, price holds some bit around. But post-COVID depends on the builders' financials, depends on the project and everything. You never know how builders are going to react after post-COVID. What is going to be their financial health and all these things. Or on the second part, with your personal friend, whether you can able to take this much amount of EMIs with you or not. That's again a big question, because there is a commitment for 7 years or 10 years if you are taking any home loan with some good EMIs. So I think that's the best time not to take any real estate as of now. Wait for 1 or 2 years. Thereafter, let's get things settled down. Might be possible you would get some good stress assets, then spot on and then take it. Otherwise, avoid it. Insurance. If you have a term plan, if you want to buy more sum assured or cover, if you don't have any critical illness, that is a very right time to take some critical illness benefit plan. If you have a Mediclaim, or if you want to increase your Mediclaim, I think that's a very good time to increase this, because post-COVID might be possible you will see a little bit high on all these insurance premiums because of the risk of the insurer, because of the risk of the company who is providing insurance to you in terms of health, in terms after post-COVID or after COVID-19. So I think if you want to buy some term plan, that is a good time. You can buy some of the good term plan. If you want to increase your sum assured, that is a very good time to increase your sum assured. Take a good Mediclaim policy, even your companies is giving you. That can be beneficial for you, because once you switch the job or once you left the job, then who is going to give you the cover? That is the question. If you are changing your job, or if you are quitting your job after the age of 50 or 55 or 60, then I think you need to pay a very big amount of premium for your Mediclaim and all these things. So it is a good time to take a good Mediclaim policy. What is critical illness and difference between Mediclaim? I'll just summarize this in 2 or 3 sentences. Mediclaim policy will give you money on the basis of your actual expenses, reimbursement of your expenses of your or hospitalization expenses. Mediclaim is just reimbursing this money to you. So if I goes to some hospital, or I'll get some hospitalization, and I incurred somewhere around 10,000 or 15,000 rupees of amount, then Mediclaim will give me these 10 or 15,000 rupees. What is critical illness? Critical illness policy will give you a lump sum amount, whether your expenses is less, whether your expenses is more, you will get a lump sum amount from that. So critical illness, the ideal amount to take a critical illness of 20 lakhs rupees. Take a good critical illness benefit in which it will cover somewhere around 40 to 50, 60 odd critical diseases for you. So on the basis of symptoms, on the basis of on the basis of symptoms and on the basis of these diseases, once these diseases will be with you, then the company will give you the money, as simple as that. Into, but irrespective of your actual expenses, one more question on that part, whether I will get Mediclaim and critical illness both amount or not. Yes, if you have a critical illness policy, if you have a medical illness policy, or by God forsake, if you are into the hospitalized for some of these diseases, you will get both the amount. You will get reimbursement from Mediclaim company who is giving you Mediclaim policy. You will get critical illness amount as a lump sum amount. So in India, you will not get any type of disability insurance. In India, you will not find any type of job loss insurance due to some medical emergencies or due to some diseases which can be there and get you on the bed for some 5 or 6 months. I think critical illness is the best thing to take for disability insurance for all these critical illnesses. And for this COVID, I just mentioned, I'll just give you a good information on that part. For all these medical policies which you are taking today, the period of moratorium period, I can say, or the holiday period is 30 days. If any of these COVID or any of these diseases identify after 30 days, then the Mediclaim companies has to give you the money or reimburse you the money for your all hospitalization bills. So take a good Mediclaim or a term plan before the premium is increased by the insurer or by your age and everything. That's a good time to take a good term plan, good Mediclaim policy, and good critical illness policy. Diversification is very important in all the cases, guys. Don't put all your money into one basket only, or into one stock or one mutual fund. Put it and diversified into different sectors, different stocks. That's better to take care. Third part of, and that is the sector oriented part. What are the sector specific, what market is going to perform in coming days or coming years? So here is the list of some of the sectors which I identified. If I'm talking about real estate, negative. Air and travel, negative, because I don't see after post COVID also people will start enjoying their holidays, vacations and all these things. Everybody understands the time, the scenarios, the conditions is not going to be normal in coming a year or 2 years time. So I think avoid any that type of travel for at least for a year or year and a half. That gives a bad impact on all these air, travel, tourism, restaurant industries. So that's a negative sector again. Oil and gas. In last 2 or 3 days, we heard about negative pricing of oil, how oil is falling so much into and everything. So I think oil and gas, negative, too much fluctuations in the price, then company is not able to get whatever benefit, whatever margins they have with them. So I think oil and gas, negative, you should avoid this sector. Banking and insurance, I can say more or less going as a normal, neutral, I can say. You will not find a lot of big positive notes. You will not find big of the negative also. But yes, whatever loans they are giving as of now in this COVID period, after this, NPA is going to be the big problem again. People who are not able to pay their EMIs on time because of COVID, because of job loss, because of salary cut and all these things. I think the impact will goes to the banks, and banks books can affect badly on that part. So my advice to be neutral on that part. Don't go too much high into banking and don't go too much low into the banking also. Banking and insurance part, I'll say it's a neutral, because there is a fair chances where NPAs can go up. NBFCs, don't avoid any NBFC sector specific risk or exposure, guys, because NBFCs is the first who is going to affect most with the NPAs and all these things. So try to avoid these sectors. Consumer, whatever companies who are providing consumer durables loan for televisions, loan for TV, fridge and all these things, they are going to be in a trouble, because of usually people who takes loans for all these consumer durables are a little bit of not with a big amount of salaries and everything. In future also people will not take any that type of electronics with them if they don't know about their job and everything, if they are not very much sure about their job, whether my job will be there or not. So their balance sheets, their books, their margins, their earnings, is going to be affected badly. So my opinion for banking and insurance is neutral. Don't go too much high into that. Automotive, yes, automobile, the same part. Nobody in India is going to buy some of the car with car loan in coming 6 months or a year time until unless they are with very high or big deep pocket. So I think we should avoid automobile also. So ask your financial advisor to give me some of the fund in which these sectors are less and more positive sectors. So positive sectors, if I'm talking about pharma and healthcare, your sector is going to be the best sector as of now. Believe me, guys. Again, there is some rewrite, there is some relearn, there are some lessons which post-COVID people learn a lot. I am not sure how many of you um, leave the sanitization habit or washing hand habits after COVID also. I think we all should keep these habits with us post-COVID for at least for a year, 2 years or 3 years, don't know. Earlier, I think we usually wash our hand in a, like us people, not like you doctors guys, but yeah, like a normal man, common man, somewhere around 2 or 3 times, more or maximum to maximum. Today we are washing our hands somewhere around 10 times. So might be possible there are some good habits which we are taking from this COVID event, and these are going to be there for a longer term, like taking Chyawanprash, taking honey, and all these things. I think pharma and healthcare, that is a very good sector. And again, I write a very good note downside. India can replace China supply chain. In this country, in this world, what has happened? Everybody is criticizing China for hiding their numbers, for not telling the truth about COVID and all these things. Might be possible these conditions would have much better taken care in Italy, Spain, European countries or US if China responded properly with their numbers and with the guidelines and everything. Nobody anticipated a big thing that time, and that's created a big panic. Every country in this world are now somewhere around. I am not say against the China, but are not very happy with the China. So everybody wants ki my supply chain should not be dependent, should not be concentrated only at one country. I should make my supply chain with 2 or 3 vendors or 2 or 3 countries in that part. So for an example, it's just same like that. I am totally dependent on one vendor for procuring all my goods, all my raw materials. Now when I realize that this person is not good and I should make my supply chain with some 2 or 3 vendors more. I think India comes first after China, where big global firms, where big global manufacturing companies come into India with their FDIs or FIIs, with their big investments, specifically in pharma. You can see this rally in last 10 or 15 days also. So you will see a big rally. Might be possible. I just read one of the interview of one of the good prominent guy into the industry, and what he was telling, like in 2000, year 2000, when India saw a very big jump in IT, where we see everywhere IT, Infosys, TCS, and all these things. India is a very big market of IT. The same way, India can be a very big market for pharma and healthcare in coming next 5 to 10 years. But this journey, this supply chain, everything will take some time, not 2 months, 3 months, not even 2 to 3 years. You will see a big change in pharma and healthcare in India to some extent, because India has a limited capacity, and India has some own their problems. India has their own problems. Land, labor, and lending. These three things can, if this should be smooth very well. So government should more focus on lending, smooth lending of funds to the people who are setting up or who are doing big capex in pharma and healthcare. Government should focus on land reforms. Government should focus on labor reforms. If these three things can be executed well, then I think India will be on the verge of a very big jump or a V-shaped growth from here, specifically in pharma and healthcare. So if you ask us personally, yep, we are very much bullish about pharma and healthcare. The same way, FMCG is also, consumption story is will be there, and it will continue. FMCG, we are positive in for FMCG also, because of increase of demand of health type of like sanitizations, like soaps, like Chyawanprash and all these things, honey, all these parts are coming into the FMCG. So I think FMCG is doing pretty well, or will going to do pretty well in coming days or coming months time. IT, very much positive on IT also. So I think the three sectors which we should look at as of now in our portfolio, be it with mutual fund, be it with direct stock, IT, pharma and FMCG. These are the three stocks we can advise you to restructure your SIP, reinvest your money, and shuffle your portfolio a little bit, and rewrite your or recalculate your portfolio. And you should be somewhere heavyweight on these sectors specifically. Mining and metals, not very sure. Negative, guys, because you never know about the metal and all these things, because price movement in commodity market is going very high. So the price movement is very big, and once the price movement is very big, then it will hamper the growth, it will hamper the financial conditions of all these metal and mining companies. So not positive on that front. Consumer durables, same thing. So now again, rewrite something, relearn something. Might be possible pre-COVID we had some wishes to take some big LED screens in my home. Now after that we understand the ground reality that is not the good time to buy some of these white good assets, and we can hold for some time. And it affect LG, it affect lots of consumer durable companies and their margins, their revenues. So we are a bit negative on these front. But yes, India is on a good shape. I can say the growth can be U growth, the growth can be V, depends on the scenarios post-COVID, how government react, how the big companies, how the big tycoons in India, they are going to react post-COVID, what will be their financial conditions, how big we need to stay at home and make ourselves on a survival mode. After that, once all these conditions clears, we can able to give you more clarity whether India will be on a V-shaped growth or India will be on a U-shaped growth. Growth is there. It's just about the timing part. It will come in a year or two, or it will come in a 5 or 7 years. Yes, of course, entire world is be on the verge of recessions and everything. You must heard all these news. But yes, I think the way we fall down, in the same way we will again come back with a good positive notes, with a good energy. And these COVID times give all of us a good time to think on our business, to think on our financials, to think and recreate, re-strategize our entire thing. So I think that's gap is on a health front, of course, not essential, but on a personal level where we all want a gap. Okay, I should get some relief from my job and from my business for some time. I think this time give us the time to learning something and learn some good lessons from the nature, from the economy and all these things. So I see it as on a very positive note. Yes, we are on the verge of again coming back to the normal, and normal will be a little bit higher normal in terms of our health, and we will bounce back with a good note. I don't see anything where government is very proactive, so I don't see anything where government will not come and support. In today's news, if you saw today's newspaper or article, there is an article, Indian government or Ministry of Finance may come with a small or mini budget specifically after post-COVID to help the SMEs, to help the retailers, to help the people for their EMIs, and to help for giving this moratorium period and all these things. So till now, government is doing their best. India is on good ranking in terms of COVID cases and all these things. Supply chain, after disturbance of China supply chain, India considered as a very good market to make supply chain from Germany, from US and all these developed countries. So I see a good market, a very positive market in coming days time. So be positive, don't be panic too much, don't book your losses so easily until unless it is very necessary or required, or go slowly and wait to settle down the dust. That is very important, because everybody cannot, nobody, I can say, nobody predict what is going to happen after a year or two, how big this COVID will be there with us. Don't know. Might be possible it will take some time. You are the best person to tell me about how vaccination is coming, how vaccination will come in India and how it will get treated. And maybe it's a permanent problem in which we need to find out some solutions into that. So depends on to just settle down some dust, then we can see the picture more clearer, and then we can take. So I am now going to the question parts in which I will take all the questions. So if by any chance, due to time constraint and all these things, if I am not able to take all these questions, I will try to give you my answers. So I am giving you my mail ID. This is our one mobile app also, which you can download. And if you have any questions relating to wealth, relating to any sectors, relating to any taxation impact, about your salary, about your income tax and all these things, you can ask here also. Our research or expert teams are there who are giving you answer from this app. and simultaneously I'll try to take as many questions as I can. And thereafter, if any question I left, or if you want to ask any question personally from me, that is my mail ID, where you can just drop a mail. I'll try to give you answer in coming next 2, 3 or 4 months, because we have some webinars coming on the way in next coming 7 or 8 days or 10 days time on taxation front, on wealth advisory and all these things. But I'll try my level best to give all the answers of your queries, whatever you have in with your personal finances, or even if you are taxation. I'm sure you will get some of the good things from my a little bit of a crisp presentations. And thank you so much. Thanks to Sun Pharma also for giving me a good opportunity to interact with all of you learned and dignitaries, guys. Once again, thanks on behalf of the entire India to all of the doctor community and all of you who saved us in this tough time. You are on the road on our behalf. So thanks to you guys. Now I'm going to my question parts, and I'll take questions one by one from this. So it's better to take question, I think, from down. How can I save IT? So that question by Dr. Viresh. Sorry if I pronounce wrong on that part. So Viresh, income tax saving, I think, is not a good option as of now. What you should look at as of now in this scenario is how we can save our capital, how we can protect our capital. That is, I think, the most important, which we should keep in mind as of now. So don't talk about, and I'll not say don't talk about, I'll say don't be worried about what is going to next, how it's going to perform, how I can save my taxes and all these things. I think you can save taxes by investing into equity and all these things. There are people who booked their losses on that part, on that front also. I booked my losses, and thereafter, so that I will not pay any taxes on my whatever capital gain I have in the last financial year, which closed on 31st March 2020. But for saving and aspects, I think taking a good term plan can give you a very good benefit in ATC. Taking a very good Mediclaim policy can give you a very good in ATD. You can take Mediclaim for your parents, senior citizen parents who are depends on you, and that can give you a little bit more tax benefit. Apart from ATC and ATD, if you are a practitioner, then I think invest wisely into technology front. That can also give you a very good expenses on that part. Saving income tax from taking a good insurance policies, taking a good PPF, public provident fund, in which you don't need to pay any taxes. One point I will emphasize on this front is about dividend. So if any of you have some mutual fund which has an option of dividend, so that is the very best time. Either it's a dividend reinvestment, either it's a dividend payout. Convert your options into growth fund, because earlier what used to happen, whatever dividend you are getting, it will be tax free at your end up to a limit. Why? Because companies is paying dividend distribution tax on it. But in today's time, what has happened? Now they are not going to take any DDT on that. They are not going to deduct anything as a dividend distribution tax. Dividend is taxable at your end. So to save tax, convert all your mutual funds which are into option of dividend payout, or which are of the option of dividend reinvestment, and shift it into growth option. So there is a capital gain, but capital gain with a lesser rate is much better rather than paying a 30-35% on your dividend. So save income tax by investing into ELSS fund, by investing into some insurance policies, by investing into some of the PPF fund, provident fund, public provident fund, and all these things where you can save tax up to a certain extent. So these all are things, but I think what best thing you can do in today's time, I think, is to just save your capital, protect your capital. That is important. Second question from Gopal C. Good investment ideas for those returning from Gulf with reasonable savings. So Mr. Gopal, I think the best thing which you can do, first understand your risk, first understand your goal. If your goal is only for retirement after 7 or 8 years, then create a discipline investment corpus with a little bit amount on equity, little bit amount on equity mutual fund, not into direct equity. I will not advise you. Then a little bit amount into debt fund. It can be a fixed deposits. It can be a very good non-participating insurance plans. It can be a very good fixed deposits. It can be a very good senior citizen saving schemes. If you have some senior citizens at your home, in which government is giving for 15 lakhs is the limit on that part, but you can invest into so much avenues. But create a disciplined portfolio. Allocate your fund at different places. Depends on your needs. So if any of your goal is for 2 or 3 years, then you should park your money into bank fixed deposits, into some amount into gold, or that type of instrument. If you have something for a bigger size, then I think that's the best way to go into equity mutual fund and create a good portfolio. So we can advise you on that front. Personal note also, if you can just share a personal or just share a note on my personal front, I'll definitely assist you on that part, considering your risk, considering your goals and all these things. I will able to give you more better advice. Thereafter, a question: incubation period and prevention with management. So, Dr. B.K. Verma sir, if I understand it well, prevention with management means if you are talking in terms of business management and all these things, crisis management are there. So budget has to be redefined, budget has to be recreated again. Depending on the how good you have a credit line with you for next 6 months or a year, how much cash inflows and cash outflows in your hand. That is the main period where you can again changing and re-strategize everything and then go into the business for this. And yes, for the same part also, I'll give you that front key. Try to avoid any big term commitment, big period commitments as of now. That's not a good time for at least for 3 to 6 months from here. During these days, how can we meet the extra expenses on PPE, NFT, etc.? Just a minute. In our practice, when our only emergency procedures are done, which contribute scarcely to the income. Sir, for all these things, I think you should have budget with your P&L, and in your P&L, you should have budget with your medical business or practice, where you need to buy all these emergency masks. And thereafter, I am not sure if you can ask for, you can just write to Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance to give you some I can say subsidy on these expenses for you. And I think that second best part, if you are on a good note, if you are doing a good job for the society, and if you have a good trust or organization, even you can take some contribution from the people. If your business is struggling, but if you want to serve for the country, I think that's the best thing what you can do. You can give them something, or you can ask for contribution from the people to give you, or not by charging a higher amount from that, but at least up to the cost amount you can charge from the patient also. So 2 or 3 ways where you can handle these scenarios. Frankly speaking, that is not the question of the person who can just guide you on the finance front, not on the front of how I can make PPE or N95 mask and all these things. How microeconomy, next question, how micro, just a minute, I'm coming on that part. So should I start from here only, I think? Okay, just bear with me guys. I'm taking one-on-one questions, so I'm getting somewhere around of 150 questions. It means you liked my presentation. That's a very happy moment for me. So the next question which I am taking, post-COVID scenario of dentistry. Sir, it's a good scenario in dentistry also. I see healthcare, if I see healthcare, dentist and everything, that is going to be there, because people are more cautious towards their health. People are more cautious towards their well-being. So they will come more frequently to do the checkups, to do the regular checkups and all these things. Person like us who are not from a medical background, we always now thinking we should do our regular checkups of dent, of our entire body. I think in a quarter. Earlier it was in a year. Now, what I feel personally, it should be in a quarter. So I think dentistry, good business. You should be there. It's a good business. Invest into technology so that you can do it through Skype, through some Zoom calls or something, entire India. So your clientele base should not be limited to your vicinity. It can be a global clientele base. So how you can make your business big, how you can increase your customer front. I think that's where you need to think something and come out with some good strategy to make your business flourish on that part. Sir, extraction can be done. Sir, extraction, I don't know about extraction. Sorry, I think this is not question which belongs to me. What is the criteria of Sun Pharma about research of vaccine. So sorry, out of course. Where do we stand after Corona crisis, both financially and physically? Sir, the question same. Never know, frankly speaking. You don't know as of now where we stand. Whatever we do, we just predict something on the basis of experience. But here, the best part, it is the rarest of rare event. You will not see, Bhagwan kare, for God's sake, we will not see this type of event in our life at all. But yes, these scenarios comes very rarely in this scenario. So let's settle down everything. Then we can able to see the more clear picture. But as of now, financially, yes, for next coming a year, it is a little bit serious position. We need to be very careful about our cash flow and everything. At least till June 2021. For a year, be cautious about all your expenses. Be cautious all about your cash, finances, and everything. Thereafter, I think thereafter you can enjoy something in the life. But till that time, be sure what is the needy and what is the wish. Only and only expense, only and only incur expenses if it is needed. Otherwise, stay financially fit. That is more important. Physically, yes, it can be a permanent damage or no. I don't know frankly about that. How COVID can impact numbers, whatever coming is today. Again, China. Yeah, from China, we are seeing numbers are coming again. So we don't know how much we have to bear with COVID in our life. But yes, in a financial front, we have to be very careful for at least for next 1 year in terms of cash outflows, cash inflows, and our investment. Keep in mind, forget about income tax saving, forget about getting higher returns or a big return. Just focus on your capital protection, how you can protect your capital or a principal component, be it into a real estate, be it into equity market, be it into share, PMS, mutual fund. Just focus on protecting your capital, protecting your principal rather than getting a big return. You have entire life to make your returns sound and good. Market will come down, market will go up, it will remain same. It is going to happen in coming years. But what cannot come again is your principal. So if you lose any of your big principal amount with a big way, it will not come again. So be cautious on that front. I'm taking some random questions, guys. So I'm sorry and excuse if I lost or if I move what some other question and not taking your questions. But if you have any questions which I skipped here, you can mail me on my mail ID. I'll surely give one-on-one answer. That's my commitment and promise to you. So again, coming to the questions part, question front. Are gold fund from RBI taxable? Nikhil, Delhi. Yes, gold fund, whatever return you will get, it is taxable. But guys, the best part in gold sovereign bond, whatever you are getting, it's an appreciation of units. So you are not getting thing as of now in a year. Whatever at the time of maturity, whatever amount you will get, it is going to be taxable, guys. But yes, again, that is the capital gain front. So you don't need to be worried about that. That is going to be a big taxation on that part. Don't be worried about that. Investment is good rather than going into physical or ETF gold bond fund. I think this RBI bonds gold bond is very good investment if you are taking to invest into that. And Dr. Ashok sir from Gwalior, about can we invest into silver now? Sir, commodity, I'll say to avoid commodity as of now, because all these commodity price are very much driven by global market, and global market is not very good as of now. You will see China, but you will see lots of countries who are into panic mode. So we don't know what commodity price, and fluctuations are very big. So whenever there is a big fluctuations in any of the price, the best advice I can give you to just wait for some time, settle down the things, then do investment. Or if you have any of the position of silvers and all these type of commodity, I think book half of the losses rather than booking the entire losses. At least convert half of the losses, because market is not going to give you an exceptional return or recover very fast in coming years. It will take some time to come. Ravi Kishore sir, about investment in pharma sector. Yes, I strongly advise you to invest into pharma sector. If you are, so these questions can come into two front. One, in terms of investment into mutual fund and all these things. Select the funds in which there is a higher proportionate of pharma sector. There are some funds into the market which are predominantly investment into pharma or healthcare. These are sectorial fund. So you will find that type of a sectorial fund in which the investment is only into healthcare and pharma sector. And the second front in which if you want to take some capex, if you want to put some industries, or as a business you see pharma sector, I'll say that's a very good business. You can start your own pharma business as of now, but considering all the facts about the cash flows, about the demand, about the product and everything, then taking this decision. So I think any of the business analysis can give you more, or if you give me more detail, if you want to start your business or practice into some of the pharma, give me a special or a personal note on that part. I'll surely able to help it out, because we are into we are into business modeling and business advisory also. So surely my team will help you in that front even. Anil sir from Mahabudhangar, ready to occupy flat, booked already, only registration due as some bank loan section delays. What do you suggest? Anil sir, the only advice I can able to give you, if this flat is going to be on EMI and you are very much comfortable and very much confident about your future cash flows for coming at least for a year or for 12 months, then you can go ahead. There is no problem. This flat, if you are taking from a builder, then I think there is a small chances to get some negotiation with builder again. Ki boss, the prices are went wrong. COVID is coming all the way, so I want some discount from you, at least for 10 or 15%, whatever you can take. So it depends on the negotiation skill, how good you can negotiate with these builders. Negotiate something, take some reduced price, and then taking EMIs. But take EMI only if you are confident for at least a year. Only registration is done, matlab means you paid lots of amount to the builder. So it's again a big risk to recover the money from builder as of now, to cancel some of the booking and thereafter take the money from the builder. It is also, guys, a little bit riskier. So be careful, talk to builder about renegotiate about some pricing, or if builder is not renegotiating on price, then you can take some facilities, additional facilities. Like for example, if builder is giving you one car parking, ask him to give you two car parking instead of one with the same rates and everything. That type of renegotiation you can do in terms of amenities, in terms of car parking, in terms of area or something. I don't know, because the question is on a very open side in that front. But yes, you can renegotiate and take any commitment if you are very much confident for a year about your cash inflows. You are going to get this cash inflows in coming year time. Then take it. Vinay sir, hi. When we exit from cold plan after 2 years, so what will be the tax we need to pay? Sir, cold plan means, I'm not getting your question properly. So if you can write me on a personal note, I can able to give you the answer on that part. Dr. Puneet Sharma from Goa. What about NBFCs? Sir, NBFCs is in a big threat, I can say. Their accounts are negative. Their accounts are in a very big NPA mode. So they are not getting good, I can say, returns from their business, from their existing business, and their future business also is on a very critical shape. They are now very much regulated and governed by RBI, which earlier was not. So for them, the biggest problem is to first rearrange themselves according to RBI norms. Then their loans are keep defaulting. NBFCs. So who will go? So a very basic question: who goes to NBFC to take the loan? The person who don't have good CIBIL score, or who don't get the loan from good nationalized bank. They people usually go to NBFCs to take the loan. So the probability of default is more in that front. So in that scenario, NBFC, I'll say it's a negative. If you have existing some exposure in NBFC stocks or NBFC mutual funds, try to book your losses and put this money into some good large cap fund where recovery will be fast, rather than NBFCs and all these things. So I am negative on NBFCs. Can we invest in LIC pension policies, Dr. Satish? Yes, Dr. Satish sir, you can invest into this LIC pension policies up to the limit of 15 lakhs. I think there is a limit of 15 lakhs, and the last date was 31st March. They don't extend it, but I think they will come. Government will come up with that type of pension plan. But make sure, if any of these pension plan which fetch you or which give you a return of 3 to 4%, avoid. Don't take it. If any of the pension plan which can give you a return of 7 to 8%, then it's good to take. So I think 31st March was the last date, and it closed now. But I'm not sure what type of pension plan you are talking about. So if it's a normal pension plan in which you are getting lifetime some 3 or 4% of pension per annum, then it's not an idle way or idle investment option. Don't do it. Rather than put some money into senior citizens FD fixed deposits in any of the nationalized bank, which can give you 0.5% always above than the base rates return. So if the base rate repo rate is 8%, they will give you 8.5% like that, for an example. So that's a good thing where you can invest your money, park some amount into some of the balance fund or hybrid fund in mutual fund, and start taking systematic withdrawal plan. So you will get some pensions from this every month on month basis. Ask your financial planner or your wealth advisor to give you more into that. Vinay Rawal sir, thank you. Mr. Manish, your talk is very informative. Thank you, sir. Pleasure is entirely mine. So thank you so much. The same I got from Suresh sir, Srinivasan sir, and all these things. Thank you, sir. And Dr. Sridhar, just a minute. Screen got here and there. Please. Amit Solanki sir, invest in equity or share, help in saving tax. Sir, invest into ELSS fund, ELSS mutual fund, which give you a best in equity saving up to the amount of 1,50,000. Apart from that, in any of the stocks and all these things, there is a short-term capital gain and there is a long-term capital gain. But yes, 10% is the only tax, so you don't need to be worried about that. But if you are not very well versed about the market, if you don't have so much time to be sit in the market daily, then my advice to go through a mutual fund route rather than taking some direct equity. Or if you want to take some direct stocks, direct equity, then I think the best thing what you can do is to take some amount of a good stocks. Good stock means top 30 scripts of Bombay stock, BSE. BSE identify the top 30 scripts. From that, take 2 or 3 good sector scripts, like from pharma you can pick 1 or 2, from FMCG you can pick 1 or 2, from IT you can pick 1 or 2, and thereafter make a decent portfolio for a longer term, not for a shorter term. PK from automobile, for automobile sector, sir, not very good automobile sector, though you will see a little bit rally on two-wheeler, but four-wheeler rally, it is difficult to come out. Still, pre-COVID also, automobile sectors were struggling with their new norms of S6 and everything for this requirement. So I think we should wait for some time, for a year, to get normalize everything. Then you will see a little bit rally on automobile sector, not on today. Puneet sir from Bangalore, should we continue our SIPs? Sir, again, my answer will be the same. If you can afford to continue your SIP, do continue your SIP, but just see what is SIP, what is the mutual fund in which you are doing this SIP. If the mutual fund, if the scheme is small cap or something like that, then reshuffle it and take some good large cap mutual fund or an index fund. So it's time not to stop your SIP. If your financials are not supporting, then just pause the SIP, but do SIP in good large cap funds or in a good index fund, but don't do any SIPs into small cap or something. I want to invest, Akshay from Kolhapur, I want to invest 50,000 in share market. Is there right time to invest in large cap companies? Yes, Akshay, it is a very right time to invest into large cap mutual funds. Or if you want to invest into stock market, identify only 2 or 3 stocks, not more stocks. You will have in 50,000, you will have 15 and 20 stocks and you are not able to manage them. So I think the best thing what you can do, identify 2 or 3 good stocks from different sectors, one from pharma, one from FMCG, one from IT, one from index, and then invest. That is more important rather than anything. Dr. Mahesh sir, TPA cost can be incurred to the patient. Yes, sir, depends on you. You can charge from the customer. If customer is healthy and wealthy and can afford, so you can have that type of a good balance between these two. If you have your NGO, ask people to contribute for your NGO so that you can give some PPE or that type of kit free of cost to the needy people. And for the people who can afford, you can of course charge. I don't think so there is much problem into that. I'm not sure about medical practitioners advisory, how is their advisory and how is their friend, but yes, from a normal front of side, I can say you can charge. I don't think so there is much problem into that. From Mansoor, Rishi Mehta, for small term, how we overcome the COVID-19 regarding expenses. Sir, I can understand Rishi ji, in a small time where the saving is small, everything is small, how you can, but yes, that's why India is there. That's why India culture is there. We have lots of things at our home which we can use to increase our immunity. We don't need to take some medicines for that. Social distancing is the best way to take care of these things. Yes, I can understand if we are at home, who will give us money? So for 2 or 3 months, the challenge will be, what about the cash inflows part? We have to take care of these things, sir. Frankly speaking, we have to use our best source. We have to liquidate some of the assets. It can be mutual fund in which there is a loss, but yes, you have to sell these stocks, sell these type of instruments, and wait till all things get settled down. I can understand in the small town the problem is big, but try to identify the much more cure methods which you can do at home rather than buying something and doing something. Social distancing and wait for some more time to take care. And Rishi sir, if you are into a business or a practice of medical, I think you should start thinking on that part, how I can go limitless in terms of my client, how I can use technology in a big way to help in my business to grow. So in future, if that type of scenario, anytime if it can happen, how best prepare I make myself for these scenarios. I think that's a good thing. Mohammed Parvez sir from Hyderabad, for someone who has not started any investment till now with medium risk appetite, how to start and what all to invest in? As a very decent and very good frame in which you mentioned this question. So sir, start with a large cap mutual fund and an index mutual fund SIPs, only and only SIP, because you are a medium risk appetite person. Don't go with a higher amount of small and mid cap. So take a SIP route to start with into that. Take some exposure in RBI gold fund, sovereign gold bond. So the best portfolio as of now for you, take a good SIP, 20,000, 50,000 rupees, and into large cap fund, index fund majorly, and then a little bit of a 5 or 10% into mid cap, and take a decent amount, lump sum amount, which you wish to invest for next 5 to 7 years into sovereign gold fund. Dr. Vinay sir, please guide regarding future of NBFC stocks like Bajaj Finance, Muthoot Finance. Sir, for this, I am a little bit worried about all these NBFCs part. We have to take care of their results, which is coming after this April and May. First, take their results. What are their results? How financially strong they are. Though I am not saying they all are going to collapse in a day or two, but yes, they are on a negative side. So if you already have that type of stock, 50% of this stock should be, you can clear in today's time by booking some losses on your portfolios. 50%, not the entire amount. Book 50% of notional loss into real losses, and from that money invest into some good large cap or index fund, so that your recovery will be more faster rather than all the money into this. Or if you are going to invest into NBFCs, I will suggest to avoid in at least for a year for these things. Avinash Ghosh from Guwahati, should we keep a healthy bank balance, or as advised by bank, should we invest into different places to grow money? Note, I already have SIP of 30,000 per month. I am 33-year-old. Sir, Avinash Ghosh sir, a very good questions on that part. So, अच्छा रहा आपने, you don't mention here कि what is your bank balance. You just mention it's a healthy bank balance. So it's a good thing, sir. Healthy bank balance is required. So take an example, emergency fund. Start to recalculate. If you have 100 rupees with you, out of 100 rupees, first set aside the amount which you want to make into emergency fund. Take an example, I have a grocery or all these expenses of 10 rupees or 15 rupees, 15 rupees. So for 4 months, it comes to 15 multiplied by 4 is 60. So from 100 rupees, 60 rupees, I should keep aside into my bank. The remaining 40 rupees as my healthy bank balance. If my goal is for a longer term, as you mentioned, you are 33 years of age, you can put this amount into an index fund as a lump sum amount for a longer term. There is no problem into that for next 4 to 5 years for that type, which can give you or grow your money fast. Don't put any money or don't take any commitment of insurance and all these things. That is not the right time. But lump sum investment into index fund is ideal way for 5 to 7 years if your goal permit, if your risk appetite permit. First, identify your emergency fund. Only put that much amount into your bank. Remaining amount, just put there. Dr. Sridhar sir, your mail ID and phone number, can we ask you clarification or any out regarding its returns? Yes, sir. I already mentioned, I think, my mail ID over here. That is manish@financialhospital.in. So where you can mail me your exact query with the funds you have and everything. I'll try to give you answer on that front in coming 3 or 4 days time. Dr. RP Panik, is PPF tax-free under 80C? Yes, sir. PPF is totally tax-free. At the time of investment, you will get benefit under 80C. At the time of maturity also, the entire maturity amount is tax-free. So you don't need to worry about that. PPF is entirely tax-free. No problem. What gives more return, trading or long-term investment? Sir, my bet on my personal 20 years of experience, a long-term investment is always a good option rather than trading. Trading will never give you a good. So it's all about making a capital appreciation. So if you want to create a good wealth, long-term investment is the best way to do it. In trading in India, nobody is very perfect to earn or to get big returns on from trading. You cannot earn good returns from trading. Trading is just to lose your money. Trading is not to make it. So it's just like a lottery, sir. If you want, you can buy a lottery somewhere 365 days every day. If you buy a lottery, I think out of 365 days, 2 or 3 times you will be lucky to get benefit. But how about these 360 or 362 days when you lost into? So I always suggest, always advise people, don't trade anything. Go for long-term investment. That is the good thing. Dr. Deshmukh sir, due to network error, I can't see your video properly, so I can see once more. Yes, sir, I'll try to get the entire video of my this presentation from you, from Sun Pharma, and then we'll mail you the same thing. Just write a mail to me regarding the same. I will try to mail this portfolio or all this my video to you for this thing. Very nice question from Dr. Mahesh sir in Pune. Does the COVID triggers for force majeure closure of various agreement? Yes. The answer is very much yes, sir. Lots of big companies are doing the same part. They are using force majeure clause. This clause you often find in your rental agreement and all these things. That's a clause, you can use it for legal terminology also, sir. In the global pandemic, this scenario is not only for India. This scenario is for global pandemic situations. So you can definitely use force majeure event, and you can ask for some relaxation, some concessions on your expenses front. That clause you can use and you can trigger for COVID-19. The answer is yes. Very great question, sir. And I'm sorry I forgot to mention this part. Kiran Patil from Sangli, what is the future you see of agriculture and its related business? Very often, very positive, very good business into that, sir. Of course, the things which are coming, people are more cautious towards their health and all these things. So all these type of farming business are coming all the way. I saw lots of big people who are working in a big MNCs are quitting their jobs, going to villages and do that type of farming and all. So I think that's a big business. That's a very good business. Subject to, you should have a very good technology front support. Subject to, you should have a very good supply chain to reach these things into the end customer. If you can able to do it, Kiran sir, I can bet you that is going to be the very big business in coming years time. In next 3 to 5 years, you will see a very good options into that. Purushottam sir from Kalyan, how to manage salary of employees in a small hospital which is difficult to run normally in this COVID scenario? Purushottam ji, very nice question. On a business front, what usually companies are doing, I can give you a little bit guidance on that part. Either they are cutting little bit 10 or 15% of salary. My advice to you, so don't cut straightforward 15% salaries of all. It will give negative impact to all lots of the people who are with a very less salary. So what a good advice into that, you can make a slabs. Like for example, up to 25,000 per month of salary, I will not deduct any amount, or it can be 15,000 to up to 15,000 of salary. If any person has 15,000 of salary in my hospital, I will not deduct any amount. Any employee or doctor who has a salary between 15,000 to 30,000, you can deduct 10%. 30,000 to 50,000, you can deduct 15%. More than 50,000, you can deduct some X percentage on. So what is going to happen? The person who is needy, who is not from a good family or from a poor family, they will harass a less, or they will impact a less, rather than a person who is getting a decent salary. They can manage for 2 to 3 years. Second thing, what you can do, cut a small proportion of the salary for next 3 to 6 months and convert into as a performance bonus or as an annual bonus. So what you are going to do, you are going to postpone some of your cash outflows for a year. So you don't need to pay this 10 or 15% now. You will accumulate this 10-15% every month, or at the end of the year, once everything is smooth, then you can pay it. That way you can manage some of your cash outflows. Or surely I will able to help you if you just mark me a personal way with some of your amounts or some of your financials, so I can be able to give you more into that part. Rahul Gupta sir, what is your advice for investing into post-COVID scenarios? Yes, for post-COVID scenarios, you should start doing investment from today. There is no problem into that. You can start investing from today, because we are somewhere around near to bottom, not bottom at all. We are near to some of the low pricing side, so that's a good thing which you can take it. So you should start for post-COVID and all. Akshay from Kolhapur, I am suffering from losses in my kids' wear business. Please help me to get out in these conditions. I want to know about cash flow management. Akshay ji, I think the best way where I can help you much detailed manner, if you can just on my mail ID, you can just note a personal thing on that part. How much is your cash inflows? How much is your cash outflow? What is your market? How you sell as of now? Accordingly, I can take your things on a much better way. So please just share some of the details so I can able to give you more guidance on that. PC Biswas sir from Kolkata, where will I get RBI sovereign bond fund? Sir, RBI gold fund you can buy it from if you have any online account, online banking from any of the big bank, then they will give you this thing. And the second part also, you can get it from any of the post office agents, you can take it from the bank, you can take it from any of the wealth or financial advisors you have, or if you don't have anything like that, just mark me a mail. I will send you 2 or 3 links of 1 or 2 good post office and good or 2 brokers from where you can buy it. There is no harm into that. Also, but it is going to be online. You should have a demat account because these bonds come in your demat account. So keep it for that. Bhushan Patil sir from, what is your opinion about Nifty Bees for a longer term? Yes, sir. Nifty Bees is a very good option. That's the index fund which I was mentioning in my presentation. You can take it for longer term. Even you can start a very good SIP in Nifty Bees fund for coming 6 months or a year. So that at every up and down you will buy this. For longer term, positive, very good. You can go it. KM Rafi sir from Vijayawada, please suggest for investing Yes Bank. So very typical question and very tricky question as well. I am not here to advise you for something on any of the particular script or any of the particular mutual fund. So I got so many questions relating to 1 or 2 specific mutual funds and all these things on shares. So guys, apologies from that part due to my limitations and my professional ethics and all these things. I cannot tell you anything about any of the stocks and all these things. That is not allowed from my side. Far better if you can just personally mail me mail on that front. I'll able to answer because that is a public forum. In public forum, I don't want to comment on any of the stocks, any of the mutual fund. Please apologies for all these. What about FDs in NBFC like Shriram City Union Finance? Dr. Sridhar from Chennai. Sir, if you already invested into that type of FDs, then stay calm. There is no problem at that. All these things, if the ratings are good, they will surely mature and give you a good money. And if you are going to invest, if you're willing to invest into that, then I suggest to avoid it for some time, for a year or 2 years. Thereafter you can do. Till that time, make your FD in some good nationalized bank because market and NPS segments are not very good and very positive as of now in India. Dr. Mohammed Manzoor, is this possible from LIC where they can decrease EMI also instead of extending duration to pay EMI? Yes, sir. Is it very much possible? You have to talk to your branch people or branch manager whom you are connected or your broker if he can decrease the amount because there is a account of that. If just tell them to pause your EMI and you can put a lump sum amount. So let's understand it on a very good example. If you have an EMI of 50,000 rupees and you wish to pay only 25,000 rupees, what you can do? You can do that. So I'll take 15-20 minutes more, guys, to give the answer of your queries, whatever we have with us. Shrikanta, so one question comes about the last date of filing income tax return for the period 2019 till 2020. So my answer to all of you guys, there is a lot of time to file your income tax return. Income tax not announced any date or any due date to file your income tax returns, but on a normal scenario, you can file your return up to 31st March 2021. So don't be worried about at all on this part. Government is going to extend whatever dates just recently announced by Honorable Finance Minister. It is for financial year 18-19, financial year 2018-19, March 2019, not for March 2020. For March 2020, you have enough time to file your income tax return. So don't be worried about that. Stay safe at your home. Don't be worried about income tax and all these things. Government will give you good time. Don't be worried about that. So I'll take 2 or 3 more questions, guys, from your this entire. Is term insurance, can I take critical illness rider more than 50 lakhs? Yes, Srikanta, you can take critical illness rider more than 50 lakhs. It depends how much term insurance cover you have, or if anything come in between also, you can change it. There is no problem into that. You can change. You can take some new cover also from this. Karanji ji. I'm getting call from these corrections, these event team guys. So kindly excuse and bear with me for that. Uh, that's all I think, guys. But I think I covered some of the questions. There are some questions which are relating directly to some of the funds and some of the specifically stock. So please excuse me. On this public platform, I am not able to give you answer directly what are the goods, what are not. Parsunathan from Midland suggest best pharma mutual fund and IT mutual fund. Sir, ask your financial planner or just write a mail so that we can give you the entire list what are the funds are into the market relating to pharma and healthcare and IT mutual funds, so that you can get more benefit rather than commenting something on public forum. If you can just personally give me a mail, I'll surely able to help you into that. I go till page number 3. Okay. Dr. Ashish from Surat. So this is fake. Oh, just a minute. I missed again this question. Is this fake news? We would be in 20 years back due to COVID-19. Pawanji and Dr. Ashish had another questions. I'll try to take both the questions. Where it is. My return in SIP came to 1% from 12%. Oh. In recent market after SIP continues 6-7, what should we do? And Dr. Ashish, do continue with your SIP. You are some of the lucky person who doesn't have a negative return as of now. So don't be worried about that. That's why equity market is all about. Market is going up and down, up and down. Don't be worried about that. Stay with your SIPs. Just reassess the portfolio of these SIPs. What are the portfolios in this SIP? Accordingly, take decision. That is much better rather than anything else. So that all from here, and thereafter I'll go just below because I missed some of the questions. What is this future of small hospital? Dr. Chandrasekhar from Bangalore. Sir, there is a business, there is a future of small hospitals. Only and only you need to rethink about some technology driven process, some technologies and some adoption of new things which can make your hospital profitable with a big bang numbers. So reassess the entire thing, re-strategize the entire thing. What is in demand? Just understand that. Then I think that's a good thing to take care. I'm taking some more 2 or 3 questions, guys. Shall we park the money in liquid fund, SBI short term from saving? Yes, you can park liquid from the saving. There is no problem as such into doing that. But yes, be cautious, be careful. How much amount you want to park, how much amount you don't want to park. So be careful on that part. Don't park all the amount into liquid fund. And sometimes liquid fund can give you negative return. So be ready for that. There is no problem. I got one more question from Dr. Seema, Goa. Do you think we should talk about wealth with our child now that they are in early 20s? They are presently not focused in life. And once they know how much wealth we have, they must just have to squander, or it may demand for more luxury. So what is the best age? Any Dr. Seema, every age is the best age to learn, to give child the education about saving, about money and all these things. It doesn't mean we need to show everything to the client. I have that much amount of wealth with me, so you take care and you do your all. No, the learning, the money investing, the saving learning is very good learning which we can teach to our kids. Don't show big amount to our kids, but yes, you should. After once they become adult, you can show them what is in your hand, what you have with you, and how to protect this thing. That is important. How you create it. You should share your journey. You should share your success story. How difficult in today's time to earn money. So they have to take this thing very, very carefully on a very good note. But yes, after 20s, and if they are into 20s, that's a good time. Make a good will. Share this will with your people, with your family. That is my will. After me, you need to take care of all these things. Give them a good learning lessons about the money part. Don't give them the money. Just give them the good learning lessons. I think that's the best way which you can do for them. That's the best thing. Seema, and I happy to take your questions. That's a very good questions. Very nice. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I think most of I covered some of the questions from your fund. If you have more questions on that part, so please share on my personal mail ID, and excuse if I somehow some questions if I left. I'll try to share my presentations with all of you, and you can mail me on a personal front if you want to share anything with me. Thank you so much once again. It's a nice interaction session with you guys, and I'm happy to see lots of questions from your side. Thank you once again. Do take care of your health, your wealth, and your family. That's the best we can support. And thanks to all of you for giving us a good life. You are on the field, you are on hospitals, you are doing your duties on a very best side. I think you are God for us. So thank you on behalf of entire human beings who are there for you, and surely it's our duty to give you something back. So whatever query, whatever financial planning you want from our side or from our company side, I'll be happy to give you without cost. So don't be worried कि we are going to charge something big from you or something like that. It's our duty to give something back to you and society of doctors and all these things. So any question or anything, if you want to make some of your financial plan or re-strategize your business plan, do contact us, no problem. We are happy to assist you without any cost or without any charges. And last but not least, thanks Sun Pharma for arranging, and Blueberry guys. Thank you Vinodji. Thanks so much. Good day. Bye bye.